guys, welcome back to Donuts to Lobbies, and in today's video I am going to be reviewing The Mandalorian Chapter 3. Oh my god, what an awesome episode. Okay, if you have not seen Chapter 3 of The Mandalorian, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Please go and watch it before you watch this video. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. First off, before we even get into it, I just want to talk about the music and the show. I hear a lot of people are actually not liking the show because of the music. It's definitely not something we've ever heard in Star Wars before, but for me, I'm really getting into it. I'm really getting down with it. I absolutely love the music in the show. I love the theme song the most. I've had for the past few days the Mandalorian soundtrack on repeat, and I absolutely love it. It's definitely not anything that we heard in Star Wars before. I like the fact that it has somewhat of like a heartbeat into it. It kind of feels like Stranger Things, you know, the type of music that comes with it. It kind of feels like Stranger Things. It's definitely got an old Western vibe with a really interesting, almost heartbeat-like sound to it. And the more I listen to it, the more I hear it, the more I just get into it. And not just the theme song itself, but the entire show has some really interesting choice of music, and I say it just fits the show quite well. So if your biggest problem with this show is the music, not that I don't feel your opinion is necessary, but I don't agree with you, because I think the music in the show, while yes, it's definitely different for Star Wars, it's definitely hitting the same Star Wars beats. With that said, I am obviously a huge fan of Rogue One, and ever since Rogue One, I have not really felt anything as great in Star Wars for quite a while. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't like Rogue One, you're not going to like The Mandalorian. But I have not seen anything in Star Wars, especially not in terms of movies. I have not seen anything in Star Wars that has been this insanely good for quite a while. Not since Rogue One. And it's been a while since Rogue One, so I'm really happy to say that this show really is just doing that for me. It's just getting me into Star Wars again, and that's what I love. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the episode itself. So this is crazy. The first thing I gotta say is the titling of this episode is the absolute perfect titling. I couldn't even pick a better title for this episode. It is called Chapter 3, The Sin. The Sin could be interpreted about 2 or 3 different ways, and I'm going to talk about that into this video here. But I really like the titling of this episode. I thought it was insane. It's called The Sin. Now, what happens is, well, we got the Mandalorian, and he is, of course, with his little baby Yoda. He takes his little baby Yoda, and a lot of people, including myself, were kind of like, okay, what is he doing here? There's no way he's going to give that baby Yoda to the Empire. Maybe he's going to, I don't know, I kind of thought he was going to give him, a nail or a bit of ear or something, a bit of hair, some genetic material, because they obviously want to clone this baby because there is a cloner working for him. So that's why I kind of think. I kind of think that they're trying to clone this baby Yoda. And this baby Yoda, I don't think is like the child of Yoda or anything. I've seen theories out there like that. No, I think this baby Yoda is just a baby of Yoda species, okay? But they want to clone it. I do believe they want to clone it. And I kind of thought, well, the Mandalorian is going to take DNA to him or something like that fake the baby's death and walk away from it. Keep the baby and take it to the Mandalore and give it to them as a foundling or something like that. Nope. He takes it to them. They see it. They take it. And what do? They give him the Beskar, which is the Mandalorian medal. He takes the medal, says goodbye to the baby, but he's not supposed to ask what are they going to do with it. Well, he asks it. He asked it because he's wondering about this kid. This kid saved him. He has a connection to this kid. We've seen that build up in episode 2, and now we get to see it fleshed out in episode 3. It's great. So, he just gave the baby up and went along his merry way. I really liked the scene where he goes back to his Mandalorian crew, the Mandalorians there. They don't like the Empire, so they're mad at him because he worked with the Empire. They get into kind of a fight. It's just interesting the way the Mandalorians work, and I like the whole history about the Mandalorian medal, the Mandalorian helmets, the Mandalorian armor that they wear. I thought it was just interesting, and I like the fact that they keep talking about foundlings and how they're the future of Mandalore. I just thought the whole thing was at least very interesting. Now, what are these people? And I had to kind of think about that, and I got kind of a theory that will work here, and I want you guys to hear me out. I'm not sure if this theory is going to be correct or not. But you know what? Dave Filoni is working on this. Dave Filoni is known for the stuff he did with the Mandalorians, including the creation of Death Watch. Now, what is Death Watch? Death Watch was this group of Mandalorians who wanted to, of course, honor the older way of the Mandalorians, while the character Duchess Satine and the Clone Wars wanted a more peaceful Mandalore. So, it's not that she was trying to get rid of their fighting heritage. It's that she wanted to be more peaceful. And, of course, the Death Watch didn't want that. So, they ended up causing this whole ordeal in the Clone Wars. And, in fact, we even have Darth Maul in charge of the Death Watch at one point. It's actually a really cool story, and I highly recommend the Mandalorian the Mandalorian arc in the Clone Wars for more details on that, because it's really, really good. So what I'm kind of thinking is that these people are probably Death Watch. I'm thinking the Mandalorian himself is part of Death Watch, which that would actually make a lot of sense, because it's all connecting back to Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni can use the Death Watch to tell us what the old Mandalores were like, which is interesting, I think. I think it's really interesting. I truly think that these people are indeed going to be Death Watch. And if you're a Rebels fan, Sabine was actually, her family was Death Watch too, so this might be a way to eventually introduce her, or at least leave a cameo. I don't know what they're going to do, but I feel like these people are going to be Death Watch. Now, that's going to be interesting, because if they do that, it just brings in a whole lot of Star Wars lore into The Mandalorian, which is really cool. But getting back to the episode, after he makes his suit, he goes into town. The one guy praises him for his job, and everyone hates him because he did the job. It turns out that the job that he went to go get the Baby Yoda was given to just about everyone. Everyone wanted this Baby Yoda, and the Mandalorian was the only one who could get it. He walks in with this awesome Beskar-made suit, and it just looks so darn cool. The Mandalorian then picks out a job and is about to fly out, about to fly away, when he realizes that the knob on his handle is gone. The baby Yoda tried to take it off in the beginning of the episode, and he picks it up, put it on, and just as he's running up the engines, he's like, I can't leave that thing to die. So he decides to go back and save the baby Yoda. So this is a sin. So this is a real question. What was his sin? Was the sin leaving the baby Yoda with the Empire? Or was the sin not achieving his directive, leaving the baby with the Empire? You know, because he did the job. He got the baby Yoda, and he was supposed to hand it to him. He did, and leave it there. Okay, by going back and stealing the baby back, he's not complying with the order that the bounty hunters have. So that's another sin too. So the fact is, if you save this baby Yoda, you're doing a sin. If you leave this baby Yoda, you're doing a sin. But what's more important? The sin to the bounty hunter corps, or the sin to his own personality? Which, I like that. I like the fact that the show kind of shows that even though this guy is a mask, he's only a mask. He's only a helmet. We're never going to see his face. We still get to really understand who this character is thanks to this baby Yoda. We get to understand that this guy, through his actions, through his words, and not through his face, but through his helmet, we actually get to understand who this character is and how he works, and I love that about him. He goes in to save the baby Yoda, takes out a whole bunch of stormtroopers, and what I thought was really, really cool was he has the baby Yoda, and there's 4 around him, and if you remember in the first episode, he said, I like those odds. The stormtrooper goes, we have you outnumbered 4-1, and the Mandalorian's like, I like those odds. Well, now we get to see those odds. So this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought he was going to put the baby down, stand up, pull out his blasters, and just go toe-to-toe with all 4 of them and kill them all like that. Like, I can't snap. There. I thought he was going to do that. Instead, we don't get him really kicking butt. We just get him doing what he needs to do. So, he stands up, and he's got like little, I don't know what they're actually called. Someone in the comments can obviously tell me what they're called. But they're like little blasts, little rockets, tiny little rockets in his gloves. And he only has to hit a button for them to fly out and shoot everyone. That was kind of like way too easy. I thought it was so darn cool. I really like the idea of him putting the baby down and just kicking their butts instead, but I thought it was still pretty darn cool to see the little fires out of his gloves. He takes the baby when all the bounty hunters pick up the signal to take him down. They go to try to take him down, big shootout, and when he is about to actually lose, when he is about to die, along with the baby Yoda, he looks up, rocket flies over his head, and the Mandalorian crew comes out with jetpacks, and I really liked that at the end when the Mandalorian salutes him, and he's like, I gotta get me one of those. That was really, really cool. I just thought the whole thing was awesome. The Mandalorians come out, they destroy the bounty hunters, let the Mandalorian, our main guy, get out, while his other friends deal with his bounty hunter crew. And my god, I just thought the episode was awesome. I just freaked out. I can freak out over this entire darn thing. I thought it was so darn cool. And I loved what that one guy said at the end. This is the way. This is the way of the Mandalorian. This is the way. That was just a great episode. I couldn't ask for anything better. And you know, it's interesting because when I first started watching the show, my expectations were low because of the time period. And I'm actually think that that's a really good thing because it made them have the ability to prove to me that this time period can be awesome. And it is. I really love The Mandalorian. I'm on board, and I can't wait for the next episode. Oh, and Baby Yoda, so darn cute. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section below. I love The Mandalorian. I'm out. Bye.